If you're in Seattle, and you need to buy or sell a home, we'll be right there for you. Because we're the realtors that you can trust. So go to ronanddonsitdown.com.
You're listening to The Ron and Don Show on the Ron and Don Radio Network.
Hey, you guys, what's going on? And welcome to another edition of the Ron and Don Show. And guess we are? We're back into Les Schwab Studios.
Yeah, hello, Ron and Don Nation.
Hey, coming up on the Ron and Don Show, number one, we'll talk about the elections. We'll get to that in a moment. Also, what's the kindest thing that anyone has ever done for you, right? And I'm sure Ron's going to have a lot to say about me. I'm just saying. Also, we're going to do a little restaurant whip. A whip? What is that? So we take three stories and we whip them up and we talk about restaurants. It's something that you do in news. Usually do a news whip. We're going to do a restaurant whip.
I love it.
Are you ready? And also, we're going to find out what Ron is secretly watching. Also, I'm going to ask Matt off the mic what he's been secretly watching. Do you ever find yourself late at night looking at some reels? You go down the rabbit hole and you went, if anyone else knew that I was watching this right now, I have two rabbit holes that I've been going down every single night, and I can't get out of them.
All right.
And I don't feel bad about it at this point. I'm not going to apologize.
All right.
Because most of the time on my phone, I'm reading history, I'm reading the news, I'm getting ready for this podcast, I'm taking notes for real estate stuff, but every once in a while, you just want to watch a girl do something that, I'll tell you at the end of the show. I'm a little embarrassed about it, but oh my God, I love it.
Can't wait.
And I can't stop. So let's do this. Let's talk about the elections as we're listening to this right now. We think we have a new mayor. Might be. Maybe we don't have a new mayor. Maybe it'll be Bruce Harrell. Maybe it will not. We don't know. I don't want to talk about local elections, though. I want to talk about the national elections. We have two roommates, two badass women.
I know.
Right?
Very
Did you
funny.
see this? Someone in New Jersey, and then you have another woman who's in the great state of Virginia. They're governors now. They used to be roommates together. One was a police officer, and one was a combat vet, can fly a helicopter. And then you have this 34-year-old wonder kid that has shown up in New York City. People love him. I think he won. Did he won? I think he won all the boroughs last night.
Yeah, it was a remarkable story.
I think he did. Meanwhile, what was the president doing? He was having another cocktail party. He doesn't drink cocktails, so I don't know why he does that, but I think he was planning out the new ballroom so that he can have a great Gatsby party part 2.
Right.
He's already had one down in Florida. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to build another ballroom that Americans would never go to because it's not the people's house. It's Donald Trump's house. We're going to have Great Gatsby Part 2 because everyone knows that during the Roaring 20s and into the Depression of the 30s, when people were wearing flapper dresses like at a Great Gatsby party, those were great times for all Americans. That makes America great. Anyway, let's talk about the elections a little bit. We also know that in California they said, "Hey, you want a gerrymander? We're going to do a little gerrymandering too." What say you? What's your read on it?
Well, my biggest takeaway of the thing is I just think back to the Raging Cajuns, James Carville. It's the economy, stupid. I think that there's a lot of issues out there, and I'm not saying it's exclusively economy, but like I'm sure you've done this because your son is eating you out of house and home. I was at the grocery store the other day. Just the regular hamburger meat was like $13.
I wrote something last night on my Facebook page, and either you got it or you didn't. And all I wrote is, it's the pantry, stupid. And for people that don't know, James Carville, a guy out of Louisiana, a Democrat for sure, he went to Bill Clinton and he just said, hey, one of the reasons why you're going to lose the election here is you have to understand one thing. And it's the thing that Bush 1 did not understand. Jimmy Carter was trying to understand it. Gerald Ford didn't quite understand it. It's one of the reasons why those guys were one-term presidents. James Carville said, you have to understand, Bill Clinton, if you want to be president, it is the economy, stupid. We have a president that's overseas right now. When you're overseas and you're doing stuff, and he keeps saying, "Hey, I've solved 19 wars." Americans at the end of the day don't care about that. They care they care about the pantry and what you're talking about.
Yeah, so like I normally would go, I'm going to get some beef and make whatever I'm going to make. And I was like, $13?
Where'd you find $13 beef? That's super cheap.
At Trader Joe's. Oh. It was $13.99.
That same beef at the Metropolitan Market is $52.
It's insane. So I think that the economy stuff there.
Wait a minute. You just said beef was $13 and you tried to make it sound really expensive. I went to a Five Guys to get my son, and I drove in because I'm like, okay,
No delivery.
I'm not doing this delivery stuff anymore. It's easily $100, all these hidden fees in the city of Seattle. I went to Five Guys after his football game the other night. This is over in Bellevue for one bacon cheeseburger, one.
With the fries.
Big fry, not small.
Bag
can't
of
lie.
fries.
And a chocolate milkshake.
Big fry, I
And
can't lie.
And I can't lie about the big fry. $32.50 before tax. $32.50 before
It's
tax.
crazy.
And you're complaining about $13 beef at Trader Joe's?
So this is do-it-yourself beef, though, not cooked up by Five Guys beef.
Oh, my God.
So I think of the economy, and I think the messaging is starting to sink in for the average American about the wage disparity and affordability across housing and food and all this stuff. The interesting thing to me is the Republicans are going to try to make, is it Mamdani,
Yeah.
into this boogeyman. And, he's a democratic socialist. I went out, and this is what always drives me nuts, is people want to say, socialism bad, this without ever reading what it is.
It's because it works, Ron. Labeling works, and everybody everyone learned from Donald Trump to label, and now both sides are doing it.
No,
and
I
also,
get it.
also every side learned to say the name. And we'll probably have. Can we say that on the podcast?
Probably not.
Everyone is saying that now, and everyone's damning God, and everyone's saying storm. Everyone's saying we're probably gonna have to. Matt, we're going to have to cut that out because you can't say that on the Ron and Don Show. It's a family show.
Here's an idea.
But everyone's doing it now.
How about just don't say it? Then I won't have to go in and make all the edits. Jeez.
So the thing that drives me crazy is people demonize these things, don't know what they are, and then you'll have soybean farmers that voted MAGA and voted for tariffs and go, well, you got to bail me out because nobody's buying my soybeans.
Right.
And it's like, dude, you just voted.
Great point.
Nobody hit the ball on what was happening. And so I went out and I just read, what is a democratic socialism? Well, they want everybody to be able to vote, that the society itself votes for the things that they want. And they want ownership from the public in key sectors like healthcare, utilities, transportation. I don't disagree with that. So maybe I'm a socialist Democrat. Economic equity. They would try to reduce the wages between the ultra elite and the working class. And that's what Mamdani is saying is like, hey, if you're a New Yorker and you make over $1 million a year, I'm going to raise a tax on you 2%. A 2% increase in tax. When I first read that, I was like, oh my God, it's going to be a 25% tax. You would know this better than I would. Back, was it Truman or Eisenhower? There was the nominal tax rate was like 75%.
Yeah.
And then it got taken down.
And most people didn't own businesses. And if you make $1 million a year, if you make it, where did that come from?
Everybody.
Kermit the Frog. Hi ho. If you make $1 million a year, chances are you own a business and an LLC. If you own a business, there's so many write-offs in a business. Writing on that's why Donald Trump came out and said, I own real estate. I don't pay taxes. He doesn't, because it's trickle-down economics. They don't want you to pay a lot of taxes because they want you to hire a lot of people, and then the people you hire pay a lot of taxes. And what Madami is saying is, let's not do the trickle-down Ronald Reagan economic model anymore.
Right.
What we're going to do is just take 2% off the top if you make over $1 million. And I have to say, if you're making over $1 million and you felt safe in the city and transportation was better and there was equity and there weren't food lines and soup lines, you probably feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, so we have some other programs there, but I think people misunderstand what it means to be a democratic socialist. And they're trying to make that into some sort of demon baby that the Democrats.
Well,
are
there is
ruining
the
things. Hold on one second.
Hi ho, here's round now.
So now you have a bunch of red states where the SNAP benefits have been taken away, and they're going, hey,
snap!
It's like, I didn't sign up for this because even though I'm a red state voter, I still need my food stamps and I still have my food insecurity, and I didn't think these cuts were going to affect me.
So what do you say about it?
And so that is socialism, Social Security,
but
for retired people. The word social is in the freaking name, and it's like, well, we're not socialists. You're on Social Security, you get SNAP benefits, you're in a red state, and now when those things get taken away, you and I both just had to renew our health insurance because we're independent contractors. Mine went up 25% on November 1st. I don't know what yours went up, but just out of the gate, no explanation other than that this administration rolled back all the incentives and wanted to, crucify, because it's called Obamacare.
Mine went up $400 last year, and it just went up another $400. So in the last 12 months, it's gone up $800. It's well over $2,000.
Yeah, so it's like if you think that, well, maybe there should be some sort of health care in our country, you're the social democrat.
Yeah. So the big pushback is always the defund the police movement. We were at Cairo right in the middle of this. Did the left go too far with the defund the police movement? How do you see that?
Yeah, I mean, the left has not done a good job of connecting with voters. And that's one thing I will give Mondani. The previous 5 or 6 elections for mayor in New York City had around 1 million voters that showed out. This election, almost 2 million voters, many of them younger, many of them connected with his messaging, and he was very smart. Like, so there was a shot of Cuomo sitting courtside at the Knicks game. The following Knicks home game, Mamdani goes there and sits in the nosebleed seats as high up as you could sit at a Knicks game to connect with people. Yeah. And so he would go on podcasts and talk about his favorite New York pizza. He would talk about music he likes. He would go out and connect with people about his family, real things, where as someone in his 30s can say, yeah, it is expensive to find an apartment. It's expensive to buy food. And even something like offering free buses for people. If you tax this 2% on the millionaires and gave away free buses, which I don't know if he'll be able to actually get that done, is that socialism? Maybe. But like, if you've ever been to New York and tried to get around, but to your point, just the social fabric of having something for the working class people there, your doorman, the guy that works at the bodega, school teachers, the service industry people, the barista that's making your coffee, not the hedge fund guys, but the guy actually making the pizza. It is very, very difficult for those folks.
So I put this on my Facebook page last night, and I'm going to read it to you, and I just want to get your thoughts on it. First thing I did is I listed just a bunch of the headlines. Let's see. And this is from the New York Times. NYC sees highest voter turnout in 3 decades amid a hotly contested run for mayor. Politico. The ad war that defined California's redistricting fight.
That's an interesting story.
Yeah, is really incredible about all the gerrymandering stuff that's going on. And this from Fox. Virginia makes history with first Muslim woman elected to a statewide office. And then from ABC News, food banks, pantries see surge in demand after SNAP benefits are halted. And what the president has basically said is nobody gets anything until the Democrats come back to the table and we can open up the government. So, and then the Democrats are saying, well, we're waiting for the Republicans to come to the table.
Well,
and
one of the things is our healthcare deal, to reinstate the incentives that we would get for healthcare.
When Chuck Schumer said last time we're not going to shut down the government, that's where he completely lost the left. So they learned from that, and they said, when there's another opportunity here to shut down the government, but we have to find a reason. And what he did in New York, what Madami did in New York, is he kept ringing the bell on, it had nothing to do you care about the Middle East? And people are like, yeah, I care, but does it matter to you for the person you vote is like 2%? What matters to people in New York? And they just walked around with a microphone, didn't ask if you're Republican or Democrat. Every person they talked to, affordability.
You know,
it's the economy stupid, the economy stupid, the economy stupid. It's the pantry stupid, it's affordability. So in the meantime,
in that Virginia race, real quick, the messaging there, the Republican that lost brought out the Donald Trump playbook and did trans rights and all of these, red meat, and nobody cared.
Yeah,
nobody cared.
So and even think about it. Why is Trump in office? Because of the economy, because people's perception of the economy under Joe Biden. So anyway, I wrote, hey, it's the pantry, stupid. Look at these headlines tonight. My takeaway is young people and this is after talking to my son, are voting like never before. Get this. They are so informed because of the computer that they carry in their pocket every day. You saw it on the right at Charlie Kirk's rallies, and now we see it tonight on the left all over the country. Boomers usually control things. Boomers usually vote, but young people are showing up in record numbers in an off-year election. This has never happened. And now even look with Seattle, being over 60% millennials and Generation Z, we may see an old Bruce get the boot tonight, and maybe we won't. We'll see what happens. But in the words of a young person that lives with me in my house, he thinks, quote, "You old people fight too much and you get nothing done. My generation is going to fix that." They're not asking for the baton. They are taking the baton. And I encourage that. The horrific labeling that goes on both sides, these kids see right through it. And they don't like seeing people go hungry, and I am with them. And now every politician, as I said before, are using the F-bomb, trying to cut through. They're using rage bait. These kids see all of that too. I'm proud of our kids on the right and the left. They're going to get us talking. They're going to get us back to the table. They're the ones that are going to get this country moving again and respecting each other again. How about if we did this? Make Americans respect each other again. True movements move. It seems like this one's moving. Good night from the cheap seats. Don of the Ron and Don. We will see you on the other side of this.
Today's show is made possible by your friends Ron and Don. When you're ready to sit down and strategize about your real estate journey, schedule your time with the guys at ronanddonsitdown.com.
All right, you guys, welcome back to the Ron and Don Show. And let's not forget, November 13th, something really cool is happening. Our friend Bob Rivers, who did something really awesome for me and for us, and I'm going to share that in a minute. If you don't know Bob, Bob is a Seattle radio icon. I remember listening to him when I was in my 20s. He and Spike O'Neill and Jody now, who has the #1 morning show in Seattle. Congratulations, Jody. We'll see them on the 13th out at Snoqualmie as well. He used to do something called Win a Girl Wednesday. Remember Win a Girl Wednesday? And when we started doing rock radio in Grand Rapids, Michigan, we stole the bit Win a Girl Wednesday. And basically, why don't you explain what Win a Girl Wednesday is? And also he's known for selling millions of clicks on his Twisted Tunes as well.
Twisted Tunes. It was a dating show. Like it was back in the day, like pre dating apps.
Yeah.
So you basically would bring a woman in and do it on like a radio dating show.
And guys would call in and they would talk to the girl, and then you could you could listen in on the conversation they were having.
And then there would be a date.
Then there would be a date, and Bob and the crew would go on the date. So we did a similar thing, and it was really, really fun. So we stole that bit, and then also his Twisted Tunes, where basically they would take a Christmas song that you've ever heard that you heard of.
Not just Christmas songs, like all kinds of songs.
Yeah, and he and Spike and the Impalers and all those guys would change up those songs. So we lost Bob last year, or actually earlier this year, due to cancer. I think about him every morning when my son and I sit down and we use syrup for breakfast because it's his syrup from Vermont. Really accomplished musician, great philanthropist, great human being. Just went into the Broadcasting Hall of Fame. So November 13th, Snoqualmie Casino at about 7 o'clock. And I love this. Our thanks to our friend Paul Anderson, who actually used to be our agent. They are having a celebration of his life. His son Andrew, who's very funny, he's gonna do some stand up. I saw him do a piece the other day. He was out of school, and they have a big picture of his dad behind him, and his dad has just died, and he's interacting with his dead father, and it is awesome. He turns around and he's talking to the picture. It is, and I'm sure he'll be doing some of this stuff at Snoqualmie Casino. So it'll be very appropriate and very inappropriate, just like Bob.
Of course.
There'll be a lot of Seattle radio icons there. I know that BJ Shea, our friend, is going to be there, and he's going to be doing some of the MC work. And then anyone that you've ever thought about in Seattle radio, I think they're going to be there. And then we're going to gather all the money. You can buy tickets right now, and I would buy them now when you hear this. because tickets are going fast, and when they're gone, they're gone. And that money is going to go toward local charities here that Bob really cared about. So I know that you're going to be there. I'm going to be there. We just want everyone to come out.
Yeah,
Be a
if
fun
it
night.
impacted you, I spent many hours driving around even before we got into radio, being entertained, and you felt like you knew Bob and the crew.
Yeah, and what's really cool, if you read the Seattle Times today, Paul's daughter now writes for the Seattle Times, and she wrote an article about
Interesting.
Bob,
Check it
and
out.
Paul used to be the agent for Bob Rivers. I'm going to talk about Bob Rivers here in a moment, because we're going to talk about, and I love this, because we were, at the end of the day, it's interesting, all the places that I volunteer, and I've been doing a lot of volunteering at my son's school, we got pretty fired up about people on the right and left and all that. At the end of the day, the people that I coach with or help with or talk to, volunteer with, hand out sandwiches to kids. I don't know if they're on the right or left. I just know that we're parents that care about our kids and care about our community. I think that's most of us. And so I want to do something a little lighter. This is off of BuzzFeed. They throw up a topic. You respond. The topic is this, quote, "I'll never forget that kindness. 34 of the nicest things strangers have done that I still remember today." So I'm just going to read a couple of these. And then I sent a note to Ron last night. Matt, are you doing this with us too? A kind moment?
Matt's anti-kindness.
Really? What a jerk. Anyway, here we go. I was in college, someone writes, struggling with undiagnosed depression. I was sitting in the campus library late at night crying instead of studying. When the floor closed at 11 p.m., I gathered myself to leave, and I still look like a mess. So as I walked out, there's an older woman there. She was at the front desk. She asked me, "Are you okay?" I gave my usual, "I'm fine," and I kept going. But then she ran after me and said, "No, really, are you okay? Do you need my help?" I was stunned. No one had ever asked twice. That simple moment, stuck with me. I genuinely believe she saved my life, and her kindness eventually gave me the courage to seek help. Never underestimate how a small gesture can become so powerful. Number 2, I remember the cashier. I was at a convenience store. And she took out her own money. Mine wasn't enough to pay for my gallon of milk, and even gave me a snack with it too. As a kid, I was dirt poor, and I went out to buy milk with my leftover money. It's been 20 years, and I still remember her to this day. Number 3, I work at a high school cafeteria, and most of the kids, they're very nice. But I was sick for 2 days this week, and when I came back my supervisor told me that all the kids were asking about me. They wanted to know where I was, and a few let her know and let them know, and then let me know how happy they were that I was back and how happy they were to see me.
I thought you said this was going to be lighter. You're over there crying.
I know.
How's this lighter?
I know. 2 more. During COVID, I went on a 5-day bike ride, camping along the way. I'd gone bankrupt after losing my self-employment due to lockdowns, and I needed time to clear my head. One afternoon, I stopped for lunch on a park bench, and an older man, probably in his 80s, sat beside me with his e-bike. We started talking, and when I told him I couldn't afford the ferry on my route because I'd vowed to spend no money on this trip, he quietly handed me some money. He said, "Take the ferry. Get yourself something nice." That simple kindness helped me to get through much of the bitterness and the sadness and the fear that I faced. After that trip, I worked harder than ever before, but without the anger, and I try to pass that on today. Finally, this one thing, I lost my job. I was walking home from work last time. Some random dude on the street noticed I looked sad, offered me $5. I gratefully accepted it and went and bought some weed. So.
That's good stuff.
Can you buy? I don't buy weed. Can
I
you
don't
buy?
know.
Can you buy weed for $5?
I don't think you can buy that much, but maybe it was a long time ago. Who knows?
Anyway, your thoughts on something that somebody
the thing
did
that popped into my head, like
was kind.
the
And
prompt
this is
said-
gonna have to be really good because you have to make up for Matt not having any.
I know.
Doesn't have a kind
Anti-kindness.
thing. Yeah, he does have an anti-kindness look to him today.
Can I give an example of when I was kind, or
No,
that's not how
no,
it plays?
that's not how it works.
It's not what it is.
This is the prompt
No, you can't.
specifically
No.
specifically said strangers. So like you've been very kind to me over the years.
It doesn't have to be strangers.
Right, but no,
It could just be
that's
someone like
strangers.
it could be someone like Matt that's strange.
Right.
Okay.
But the one that did pop into my mind because I was thinking about strangers is after Hurricane Katrina, I was driving north to get away from the hurricane, and
With
obviously
2 million other people.
with 2 million other people.
Yeah, so it was a
And
pretty pretty quick ride.
And it was apparent that like everything that you and I, or that I owned, and my house and all that stuff was going to be destroyed. And so I was at some gas station filling up the gas, and just had the 1,000-yard stare. And I remember
Good you could find gas.
Yeah, a person was
people died on the interstate behind us that couldn't find gas.
Yeah, so a person came up to me and asked me what the deal was, and I said I'm leaving New Orleans, and we chatted for a couple minutes, and they gave me $10 unprompted, and I was like, no. He's like, no, I insist, and just. I've never forgot that, because it was like I don't remember the person's name.
Yeah.
We only chatted for a couple minutes. I was kind of in this glazed over fight or flight mode, just trying to, salvage whatever I could get into the car. And so I never forgot that moment. It was very, very kind.
Yeah.
What about you?
It was after Katrina. We had lost our jobs down there. Our radio.
John's going to cry again. I just want to get your tissues up.
Yeah, we lost our jobs down there, and we joined radio at a really weird time, because people were always like, well, what you need to do is just stay on in a city for a long time, like a Bob Rivers, for instance, and then you'll be a hit. And we joined radio when radio started to consolidate, because it was all mom and pops. Like KJR here was owned by a family, and I can go through all the stations here that were owned by local families here. And then when they found out how much money, because no one saw the podcast thing coming.
Sure.
No one saw it. And the internet wasn't a thing yet. And CBS stepped in, and Viacom stepped in, and the Xfinity stepped in, the Clear Channel stepped in, the AM/FM stepped in, the Evergreens, and go on. And these big companies and corporations, Citadel, said, we're going to buy 100, 200, 300 radio stations at a time. We're going to hub and spoke them. And hub and spoke means we're going to fire a lot of the local talent, and now we're going to have Rick Dees out of California. Instead of being on in California, he'll be on 100 radio stations. Danny Bonaducci, at one point, they were doing that. Howard Stern, they had him on all over the country. So instead of having 30 different rock shows, you had one, and he was on in 30 cities. So what it did for local guys like us that were trying to make it in San Francisco, even though our initial ratings were great, we got bounced. Then we went to Phoenix, and we got bounced. We went to other cities, and we got bounced. We even got bounced out of Seattle twice. So we were always trying to come back to Seattle. That was always the idea. But we couldn't find a job in Seattle. We're down in New Orleans. We're hit, and then we end up getting bounced, not by the radio industry, but by a hurricane, right? Our radio tower that went in the water has never been fished out of the water. It's still in the water. Many of the radio stations that were turned off then have never been turned back on, right? So our station down there was an end station. That was the end of the end. The end was gone. That was it. So I remember we had talked to one of our old producers here that used to work for us, and she said, hey, it'd be really great if you and Ron came up here and just kind of filled in. We don't really have a job for you, but we'd love for you guys to come and fill in. So that was very kind of Tina to do that and reach out. So we came up here, and I remember I was living in a hotel, and I had gone basically through all my cash. And the radio station was like, hey, we paid for a couple weeks, but we can't pay anymore. You and I were doing nights. We were splitting the night check. And you don't even make money in radio doing nights. They had thrown out the idea that in 9 months, the afternoon show is going to open up, and we think you guys would be great in afternoons. You get paid very well in afternoons. You get paid really well in morning drive. I had taken a lot of my money and given it to friends that didn't have money. And then I was driving a $3,000 car. It was rough. And I remember staying at this hotel, and I went to check out, and the person at the front desk said, why are you checking out? And I said, well, it's my last day staying here. And she said, that's weird. She said, someone came here and put down a credit card and just said, don't tell him it's me. I don't want him to know, but this is for as long as he needs to stay. So it would be a decade later where I'd find out who it was. And I was really, really touched by that. And I'll leave that between me and this person, because I didn't want anyone to know. The kindness, though, of Tina doing that, of this person doing that, of showing up at the hotel. And then Bob Rivers is working across the street at KSW for a completely different company. And Bob had written a letter to the general manager at Cairo and said, you better hire these guys because they're going to be sensational. And you should put them in morning drive, middays, or you should put them in afternoons. And we weren't news talk guys. We were rock guys, right? But people saw through in the way that Bob did radio that it didn't have to be the crass Howard Stern thing. And when you listen to what Bob did would have worked perfectly on a news talk station, especially a progressive news talk station. So Bob really paved the way. And because we came in and we're like, well, we're going to do a rock and roll news talk show. We're not going to slow it down with a bunch of phone calls. We're not going to just be guys on the left or guys on the right. We're going to do a lot of cause radio, philanthropy. We're going to laugh a lot. We're going to be really involved in the community.
We're going to have some women and voices on the show.
We're going to put women voices on Cairo that weren't there, that Bob had done beautifully with other women and made them superstars. When we got to Cairo, they said, women do not talk out of the newscast. They are not to give their opinion. Why do you have Rachel Bell on the air? Why is Ursula Reutin talking? Well, Ursula Reutin's a big star there now, and Rachel's a big star as well. That's why, because people love them. And they saw the ratings, and they're like, hey, let's stop taking phone calls and let's start putting more women on the air, which is something they did. But it all goes back to Bob. And he not only picked up the phone and made a phone call, but I still have the letter to this day that he wrote to the station manager and CC'd me on that and said, you should put these boys on the air. They're going to be superstars. And it was really cool when he retired. He came and sat in our studio. I'd never broadcast with him before. And I felt like I am getting this is my little kid dream to broadcast. I'm getting to broadcast now with like maybe the greatest radio talent that we've ever seen in Seattle. So a lot of goodness in all of that. Sometimes when tragedy strikes, and I know Matt has had a hard time sharing that today because he has not had tragedy in his life. So he has
no kindness.
He has So anyway, I had to share 3 because of your anti-kindness stance today.
It's not that I'm anti-kindness. It's I have been.
When were you kind one time?
At the Seahawks game.
What did you do?
At the Seahawks game.
Yeah.
The lady was trying to get in and she dumped.
Are you about to toot your own horn? What happened?
This is so awkward.
What?
Yes, I'm going to toot my own horn.
Okay, what happened?
Along with some other people or whatever. So the lady's trying to get through and she drops her fries on the guy in front of her.
The garlic fries?
No, I don't think so. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think the garlic. Probably
all garlic fries at any game should be dropped. You should buy them and drop them right in the garbage. I hate when my next door neighbor buys those.
In that case, they weren't garlic fries, but they were covered with ketchup, and the ketchup went all over the guy in the row in front of us.
Ketchup is not a dipping sauce, and it belongs on a hamburger, not on a fry.
And
everybody knows that.
He was wearing a brand new sweatshirt, and I thought, oh, that guy just got ketchup dumped all over him, and she just lost her fries. We got to get her some fries.
Yeah.
And before I knew it, my buddy was sitting next to me. He got up, and I said to his wife, I said, where'd he go? And he went to get some fries for the lady. And I was like, oh, that's great. So he comes back with the fries. Another guy in the row in front of us had also brought some fries back. So now she has 2 fries. Wow. And it was like, that's super nice or whatever. And then
the guy that's got mustard all over his sweater.
Maybe just tune in later and we'll tell you. So then I go down.
There's more.
I go down. Yeah, the second part. I go down to.
Is a kindness express. This is nice. I feel better now.
I go down to the thing to get my second hot dog or third hot dog or whatever it is, and you pull your thing out and you go up and there's no cashier. You just scan your own items and you tap your card. Whatever.
Got it.
And I'm working on that. I don't know how it works. I don't go to that many games. I figured it out. I tap my phone on there or whatever. And the guy next to me, 3 feet or whatever, he's like, what's that? And he turns to the lady who walks around and helps people. And he says, what's the dick? It doesn't take cash? No, it doesn't take cash. And he's like, blah, 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 blah. And I said, are you having trouble? You don't know how it works? And he's like, I recognize it was the same guy he has got the sweatshirt over his shoulder with ketchup all over it. Wow. And I said, here's how it works. You take your card and you tap it like this. And I tapped my card against his thing and paid for his whole thing or whatever it was. And he's like, wait, you just paid for it? I said, yeah. And he's like, well, thanks a lot. And I said, no problem. Get yourself a sweatshirt.
This sounds like a scam. The Seattle Police Department have warned about people that will go to games. They'll smear ketchup on their shirt, and then they'll get everybody.
I watched it happen.
Everybody in the area.
It was mustard. When did it turn into ketchup?
I watched it happen.
You did. Okay. Anyway, I think that's very nice. I wonder why, though. Initially, you let everybody else go and buy the fries, and you didn't participate.
I was about to get up, and then he left
until you were forced to. So
I got.
you were forcing kindness on other people, which I like.
This is not.
I'm going to take a page out of the Matt
Wilson
Wilson
into
playbook.
toot our own horn segment.
What's that?
This is the kindness of others.
I thought that was very nice of you. And next time we go to a game, I'm going to pretend like I don't know how that machine works either, because I don't. Have you figured it out?
Yes.
My son and I just think it's a miracle that we get all this free food. All right, more on the other side. That was fun.
You're listening to The Ron and Don Show on the Ron and Don Radio Network.
All right, you guys, welcome back to the Ron and Don Show. I've been looking forward to this segment because I got to get a couple things off my chest. Every once in a while, I find myself out on the Is it still the information superhighway?
You'll have to talk to Al Gore on that one.
Okay. Anyway, every once in a while, I find myself out on the information superhighway, and somehow TikTok, I don't know how they did it, has now bled over. Do you watch TikTok?
I do not. I have a TikTok account, but I don't go over there because then your time just evaporates.
Yeah, I don't let my son on TikTok, and I'm going to stay off TikTok, but we are on Instagram. I am on Facebook. We're not going to see him on Facebook anytime soon. Because even when he gets home from football practice now, he'll still give me a good hug. But we got out of the rig the other day. He now gets to drive me to school, and he feels really cool, and he pulls up. Today, I almost made him drive the minivan, though. And he's like, well, you can drive. He's like, can I ride in the back? He was not, because he likes pulling up.
That's a cool van.
And all his friends thinks it's cool. He's the only one that thinks it's not cool. And then I was going to sell it the other day. He goes, you can't sell it. It's kind of a thing we got going here. It's kind of, so he likes it.
School.
He likes to go. He just and then we have a secret handshake. I went to do the secret handshake with him when he got out of the truck the other day. Would not do the secret. He goes, "Can we just do that at home? Can we just do this?
Wow.
Yeah. Can we just do
separating
this?
From dad?
He wants to just do kind of a bump." And then when I'm
you've officially reached the stage of fatherhood where you know nothing.
Oh,
there's absolutely, even if you know,
I'm about 6 months in on
you
that.
don't know. I remember this phase with my mom and dad.
Yeah,
where it's like my mother worked in a hospital, and in my mind, she knew nothing. Yep. About hospitals or like you couldn't tell me anything.
Yeah,
they knew nothing.
We have a business meeting once a quarter. We have one this Saturday. And then we have like 15 things we're going over, and we have a shared document. And I can't wait to do this business meeting.
Of course.
But anyway, in public now we just do like a fist bump.
Okay.
In front of the guys at football, but I don't even talk to them. Just don't even acknowledge. The other players acknowledge me. I'm not even acknowledged by him.
Of course.
You were there. He didn't even come talk to you guys. And then as soon as the game was over, he ran off the field and he ran away from you.
No, I bumped him.
Oh, you
I
did?
gave him a hug.
Okay. You hugged him?
Yeah.
He allowed it.
Of course.
Did he hug back?
Yeah.
No way.
Yes.
Why is he hugging you and not me?
Because I'm supportive.
You're his father. That's why.
And anyway.
Hey, Don, it all comes back, by the way. My kids are 21 or whatever, and they're showing the love and the whole thing.
Okay.
So your kid will be all right.
That's nice. I appreciate it. Anyway, I've started watching a couple things, though, that have bled over from TikTok. I do spend most of my time either reading the news or watching World War II. And I have to say, I've been checking out Hitler's body lately because there's lots of... Have you seen the AI stuff they do of World War II?
No.
And they'll take an old picture and then they add AI to it. So you'll see like a German soldier turning himself into like an American sergeant, and now they add AI to it in motion. It is because they don't have any film of it, but they have a picture. It's incredible. I mean, it is incredible. So they have this stuff of Hitler now, his dead body. I don't know if it was him, and I'm not a conspiracy guy, but you got it. You see his little mustache. He looks a little Charlie Chan-ish, but he doesn't look like Hitler to me. He just does.
You mean Charlie Chaplin?
Or Charlie Chaplin. So what did I
don't
say?
know who Charlie Chan is. Johnny Chan, I know.
Oh, man.
Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
Carol, is that the thing you like?
No.
The rabbit hole is the World War II videos?
No, there's this girl that was fat and her boyfriend broke up with her. It's because it's always about the story.
All right.
It's always about the story. It's during the pandemic, and she's like, what the hell am I going to do? Her name's Lauren. So Lauren picks up a jump rope when she's at home, and she just starts jump roping.
Okay.
And she's jump roping and jump roping and jump roping and jump roping and jump roping. And from the jump roping, she starts to lose weight as she's kind of jump roping through the pandemic.
Okay.
And then she starts doing a trick here or a trick there, here a trick, there a trick, everywhere a trick.
A jump rope trick.
A jump rope trick. And now she has to be one of the most beautiful transformed women that you've ever seen on the internet.
Okay.
She travels all around the world, and what she'll do is she'll basically it's a flash mob of jump ropers.
Okay.
And so she'll say, hey, I'm going to be in London Square this weekend in front of this castle. I don't know if there's a castle in front of London Square. I don't even know if there's a London Square.
You've been to London Square.
Is there a square?
You dragged around there, and there was a castle.
That's right. Yeah. So I did push-ups at that castle, and I almost fell in the moat. Anyway, what she'll do is she'll send out, hey, this is what we're going to do, and she'll teach people online. And then she'll show up, they put down a boom box, and boom, people just come from out of everywhere, jump ropes, and they jump rope flash mob. It is amazing. And now she has guest jump ropers on there from all over the world.
Are you saying that you've turned into a jump rope enthusiast?
Well, my son likes to jump rope. He's gotten to be a really good guitar player and a really good jump roper. And we actually have the woman that runs our gym. Her name is Abby. And I went over there the other day and I said, have you seen Lauren jump rope? She's like, oh yeah. You watch Lauren jumps on TikTok too? I'm like, I'm not on TikTok. She goes, well, it's on TikTok. I said, somehow I don't know how it happened. I'm a 58-year-old man. Somehow it's ended up on my Facebook
Boomer.
feed. Yeah, boomer. which I'm not. I think I missed it by 5 years. So I'm watching Lauren jump. Can I send you one?
Sure.
I love Lauren jumps. I just love it. And then also
but that's not embarrassing. I think that's fine to be a jump rope enthusiast.
I'm sitting here watching a 25-year-old really hot girl late at night, and I'm watching her jump rope
That's
all
fine.
over the world. You sure?
Oh, of course.
That's okay.
Of course. What's
you
wrong with that?
Could your girlfriend be okay if you were doing that?
Absolutely.
Every night.
I don't know, every night.
Every single night I check in to see what
I think it's more normal than the rabbit holes I go down.
Where's Lauren jumping? Where's Lauren jumping? Well, we'll get into your rabbit. And then there's another guy named the Judge Fleshman Chronicles. He's a guy that sits in a courtroom and he has a bow tie on.
I know this guy.
Have you seen
the best.
He's the best.
Oh my God, I love him.
Have you seen him?
Especially when the prosecution doesn't have their paperwork in order.
When they don't.
Oh my God, he's the best.
What's really great about him, though.
So to set it up for people, they have a camera on the bench, and there will be someone that comes in and they'll say, it's usually a person of color. This person was arrested for speeding or whatever.
DUI, DW.
And so they come in, and then if the DA just doesn't have everything together, he absolutely fillets the DA.
There's no probable cause.
Right, no probable cause.
There's going to be no trial.
The cool thing, though, is not only does he really stand up for, like, I watched him the other day, and this girl came in, and her boyfriend had been beating her. So he threw that guy in jail. He said, I don't know why I'm going to let you out. And then he stood up, he pulled out his card, and he handed it to her. And he said, morning, noon, or night. Never let a man treat you like that again. You call me anytime you need me. Because at some point, he's going to get back out of jail. You stay away from him. Whatever you need. And she had two little kids that had witnessed all that. So he's really an advocate, especially for people in the black and brown community. And this is in Texas and in Houston. And he is white and bow tied as they become.
He's great.
But
I've watched that guy.
So like. And
have you seen him when a sovereign citizen comes before the bench?
Yes.
God. It is the best.
Yeah. Or people or he really encourages people to get a lawyer. And if you don't have a lawyer, I'll give you a lawyer right now. And I can't give you advice. But then when people come back that have really been through it, especially with addiction, and they'll come in and he'll expunge, and then you see all the work that they've done. Like 2 years later, after they've done this, they've got a job, they've been out in the world. They'll have these celebrations in his courtroom, and I can't turn it off.
It's very good.
I cannot turn him off when I watch. Anyway, what do you got? What do you been?
So I've seen that guy, and it is a rabbit hole. It's hard to get out of. The one, and this, I don't know how this came into my feed, but it'll take me down the rabbit hole hardcore. If you there's a woman that does it, and there's a couple guys that do it. People, they'll be out in the woods. They have like a hatchet and some twine, and they build a residence.
Yes.
So there's this one woman in China that's she's building like these 3-bedroom.
Is she really building them?
That's what I'm sure she's not.
Yeah.
But it looks like she's building them.
Right.
There's a guy called Primitive Technology.
Yeah.
He just wears a pair of shorts. He never speaks.
Yeah.
He has a pair of shorts on,
I like it.
no shirt, and dude will build like oven, like he's inventing pottery, like there's waterfalls. It's insane what he's able to build with like mud and sticks and palm fronds, or I don't know where he is. So like
They're all trying to be Pernicky is what they're doing.
and so once you get into that thing, I just get random people around, like some dude in the middle of the Russian forest that's building a log cabin with a knife. Like it's bizarre, but once you're into it, you cannot get out of it.
Have you seen the guy? I think it's called Catch and Cook. I think he
Is
lives.
it the ones that cooks on a rock?
He cooks on everything.
Yeah.
And what he will do is he'll say, okay, I have $25. I'm going to go into Walmart, Kmart, whatever mart is still
Oh,
open.
that's not the guy I'm thinking.
And so all he does is, and he'll buy like some fishing twine, he'll buy like a hefty bag, and then one day he bought some barbecue sauce for himself. Then he goes out in the woods, he like digs a hole, he gets in the hole, it's snowing out, he's sleeping in the hole, he's telling you how comfortable it is. He looks like he's the most uncomfortable person in the world. And it, like literally, he takes rocks, he heats up the rocks in the fire, and then he digs a hole, he puts the rocks, and then he puts leaves on top, he sleeps on top of it, and then he goes to catch a fish. Hardly ever catches anything, but every once in a while he'll catch something, and that's what he has the barbecue sauce for. And he'll cook the thing, the head, the whole thing. He eats the eyes, he eats all the stuff. And he'll tell you what a great time he's having, how wonderful it is out in the woods. And then my favorite thing was last time he was out there, he was going over how you make a hefty bag into a raincoat. Right? So he's out there sleeping in the snow, gotta be freezing his ass off, and he's sleeping in his hefty bag raincoat, and he seems though like the happiest person in the world.
It's a wonderful time to be alive because these people are compelling and they would never have gotten exposed
I think
anywhere else.
you've looked at all the PBS Dale Pernicky stuff, right? Who lived up in
Dick Pernicky.
or Dick Pernicky, I'm sorry. Dick Chan.
Right.
Yeah.
He's incredible.
Jackie Chan.
Yeah. No, I think that movement started with him.
Yeah.
And I think what we're seeing
Alone
now
in Alaska.
Yeah, I think we're seeing variations of that in the TV shows and all that.
It's impressive.
Yeah. Anything else?
No.
That's all you. I would.
Well, the other thing
I thought
that
there would be
is
some really naughty things.
a little embarrassing.
You don't got a girl jump rope you follow? Come on.
I click on because I injured
not gonna tell us.
I injured my knee. I'm get there.
Okay.
So I'll click. You click on a couple fitness things to like fix your knee or work on your ankle.
Yeah.
You're 4 videos away from OnlyFans. Every time. It's like, how do I go from a guy helping me with my ankle injury to OnlyFans in that fitness space?
Yeah.
You're 4 videos away from OnlyFans at all times.
Yeah. Matt, you got anything? Anything you're?
Nothing.
Yeah, you do.
Mustard and ketchup.
Yeah. You got another. Anyway.
I'm just watching science videos and watching these videos of these guys talking about how AI is going to take over the world.
Do you want me to send you Lauren Jumps? Because if I do, you're not going to stop watching it.
Yeah, send out Lauren Jumps. I bet Matt will like it.
I think she got a boyfriend now, and I don't like him. he jumps with her too much, and he doesn't jump well.
See, you watching
doesn't jump.
You watching it late at night again and
creepy.
again. That's that's one
I
thing.
own it. It's creepy.
But now that you're jealous of her boyfriend,
That's the creepy part.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
starting.
what-
I think I have a relationship with her.
yeah, that's where
I
it
think
gets
I
creepy.
do.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
if you act on it, it's going to get even creepier.
I don't think I'm going to act on it, but I do think in a way she might be she would be my girlfriend if I was, because I think I would go get a jump rope. I even thought about it, but I think I have a hernia right now. Like, maybe I should go get a jump rope and show up in London.
Donnie Jumps.
Yeah. Anyway. Hey, you guys, thanks for listening to this episode of The Ron and Don Show. We sure do appreciate it. Don't forget, and we're going to talk about this in our Real Estate Only Friday show. It is, when you see people running from real estate right now, and I wouldn't say they're running, but they're standing on the sidelines. They're standing on the sidelines for 3 specific reasons. We'll talk about that in the real estate show. When they stand on the sidelines, Warren Buffett, it's interesting. Have you seen the graph where they look at billionaires and they do a time lapse of who the billionaires were starting back in the 1920s.
No, I haven't seen it.
And then you see, and then it'll speed it up, and it'll give you the year of the billionaire. He's been in the top 10 of nobody else has, but he's been in the top 10 of billionaires for the last 2 decades, right? So, and there's one thing in particular that he does that he talks about. When people are running from the market, I run to it, and then when they're running to it, I run from it. Same in real estate. We're going to talk about that on Friday's show. If you want to get in touch with us, we do something called the Ron and Don Sit Down. What is
Yeah,
that?
let's say we do a custom plan for your real estate journey. You can go to ronanddonsitdown.com, or you can email me at ron@ronanddon.com.
Why don't you do ronanddonsitdown.com? Where's that? Where's the energy?
That's your signature move.
That is. What's yours?
ronanddonsitdown.com.
Thanks to Matt, Grace, my son who's not here. Probably be mortified that I stay up late at night watching a girl jump rope. That's the way it goes. A single man. What are you going to do? Also, I want to thank Charlie the dog. Why? Because he's our mascot. He's fluffy as ever, by the way, and there must be a lot of humidity. Don't forget, again, if you need us, ronanddonsitdown.com, and also follow us on social media. He's Ron Upshaw. I'm Don O'Neill. And don't forget, November 13th, we'll see everybody out at the Bob Rivers Memorial Special Extravaganza. It'll be cool. See you out there, all right? In the meantime, you keep your head up and your shoulders back, and don't forget, you've been listening to the Ron and Don Show online on the Ron and Don Radio Network.
Hey, it's G-Force O'Neill. Thanks for listening to my dad and his boyhood friend, Mr. Ron.